What if I told you that history's most ruthless dictators all followed the same exact playbook? From Hitler to Stalin to Kim Jong-un, they used the same psychological tricks to control millions. And here's the scariest part. Some of these tactics are still being used today, right under our noses. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down the mind control techniques that dictators have used for decades. By the end, you'll start noticing these tactics everywhere. Let's dive in. Section 1. The power of fear, the first step to control. Every dictator's first move? Create an enemy, because when people are afraid, they will accept anything, even losing their freedom. Example 1. Hitler's use of fear in Nazi Germany. Adolf Hitler mastered this strategy. After Germany's defeat in World War I, the country was in crisis. Unemployment, inflation, and political instability were everywhere. People needed someone to blame. Hitler gave them one: the Jewish population. He spread the idea that Jews were responsible for Germany's suffering, labeling them as traitors and enemies of the state. This fear allowed Hitler to pass extreme laws. The Nuremberg laws stripped Jews of their rights, and later, the infamous Kristallnacht saw their businesses and homes destroyed. People accepted it because they believed they were under threat. Example 2. Stalin's Great Purge, enemies within. Joseph Stalin used a different kind of fear. Instead of blaming an outside enemy, he created an internal one: his own officials. In the late 1930s, Stalin launched the Great Purge, where thousands of politicians, military officers, and ordinary citizens were accused of being traitors or spies. Public trials were staged, confessions were forced under torture, and executions became routine. The result? No one dared to oppose him. Even innocent people were too afraid to speak out, fearing they'd be the next ones accused. Example 3. North Korea's eternal war propaganda. In North Korea, fear is constant. From childhood, citizens are taught that the world is out to destroy them and that only the Kim dynasty can protect them. State propaganda constantly warns of an imminent attack from foreign enemies. Every year, large-scale military parades are held to show strength and prepare for war. This fear keeps the population obedient, believing that questioning their government means betraying their nation. A fearful nation is an obedient nation. Section 2. Censorship, rewriting history, controlling the narrative. Once fear is in place, dictators take the next step. They control the truth, because if you control the past, you control the future. And if you control the information people see, you control what they believe. Example 1. Stalin's photo manipulation, erasing enemies. Stalin didn't just eliminate his enemies, he erased them from history. In official Soviet photographs, those who fell out of favor were literally removed from pictures. Once powerful officials disappeared, as if they had never existed. This created a chilling message: if you defy the leader, your legacy will be wiped out. Example 2. North Korea's fake history, the divine leader. In North Korea, even history books are rewritten to glorify the ruling Kim family. Children are taught that Kim Jong-un invented the hamburger, that he once wrote 1,500 books in a single year, that he shot a perfect game of golf the first time he ever played. These ridiculous stories sound laughable to outsiders, but for North Koreans who grow up in an isolated system, these facts become reality. Example 3. China's internet censorship, erasing events. In China, censorship is digital. The Chinese government controls what its citizens can see on the internet. Search for the Tiananmen Square massacre in China, and you'll find nothing. The event has been erased from national history. Young people today don't even know it happened. Control the past. Control the future. George Orwell. Section 3. Brainwashing propaganda, the art of manipulation. But fear and censorship aren't enough. Dictators take things even further. They rewire how people think, and the most powerful tool they use? Propaganda. Example 1. Nazi Germany's propaganda films. The Nazis used cinema to brainwash an entire nation. Filmmaker Leni Riefenstahl created grand, artistic films that made Hitler look like a god. Scenes of marching soldiers, uplifting music, and crowds cheering in perfect unison created the illusion of a perfect, united Germany. Example 2. North Korea's daily praise rituals. In North Korea, brainwashing is a daily routine. Every morning, school children must recite chants praising their supreme leader. These rituals are mandatory, and anyone refusing to participate is considered a traitor. Example 3. The power of repetition, turning lies into truth. Dictators repeat their messages so often that people start believing them. We are winning. The enemies are everywhere. The leader is always right. This is a psychological trick known as the illusion of truth effect. If you hear a lie often enough, it starts feeling like reality. Tell a lie big enough, and people will believe it. Joseph Goebbels. Section 4. The cult of personality, turning themselves into gods. Fear, censorship, and propaganda build the foundation, but to stay in power forever, dictators do something even more extreme. They turn themselves into gods. Example 1. Kim Jong-un's superpowers. In North Korea, citizens are taught that Kim Jong-un controlled the weather with his emotions, that he never needed to use the bathroom, that he was a near-divine figure, sent to save the people. Example 2. Mussolini's eternal presence. In Italy, Benito Mussolini ensured his image was everywhere. His face covered newspapers, billboards, and public squares. People couldn't escape his presence, even if they wanted to. Example 3. Stalin's forced birthday celebrations. In Soviet Russia, Stalin's birthday was a nationwide event. People were forced to celebrate, write poems, and send letters of praise, or risk being accused of disloyalty. A dictator must be loved or feared. Conclusion: how to spot these tactics today. The scary part? These tricks aren't just history. Some leaders today still use them. Fear makes people obedient. Censorship hides the truth. Propaganda changes how people think. Personality cults keep dictators in power. History repeats itself. The question is, will we recognize it before it's too late? Which dictator do you think was the biggest master of manipulation? Let's debate in the comments. If you found this eye-opening, hit like, subscribe for more shocking history videos.